everyone. It is Nellie from the 6570 Family Project. It is so good to see you. And it has been a crazy summer already, you guys. And if this is your first time here, welcome. And if you've been watching for the last year or two, welcome. It's so good to see you. And for those of you that are new, the 6570 Family Project is all about helping you build the foundation of worth, esteem, and confidence in your kids before they leave home. That number, 6570, is how many days we have in 18 years. Now, does that mean that check the box once they're done, parenting is over? Absolutely not, not at all. But during this 6570, it is our highest impact zone that we're going to have as parents. And so we are here to be very intentional and deliberate about that time and mess up with intention, sometimes not with intention, but definitely make up with intention, right? And just show them how to build those pillars of worth that we talk about and those 5 needs in order to build worth. And there's some needs that you might not even know that they have, but every human has them. And your child, especially during these second half of childhood, otherwise known as the teen years, preteen and teen years, they have them in explosiveness right now, those needs. So those are those 5 needs that we talk about. And then we have esteem, which is value and appreciation of self. And then we have confidence, which is the top of that 3-layer foundation that we are building for our kids. And that is true belief in self. And that is how we are launching kids out into the world instead of just releasing them out into the world. There's a big, big difference between releasing and launching. But let me tell you what, along this road, there's a lot of tricky things that happen. There's a lot of missteps that are going to happen. There's a lot of things that you are going to mess up on, which is A-okay. There's a lot of things your kids are going to mess up on, again, A-okay. And there's a lot of things that the world just gives you and you have no control over, but you still need to navigate, right? I think the biggest example of that we've had of late is, of course, COVID, right? That was not your fault. That was not my fault, but it was something the world handed us and we all had to deal with it. So I want to talk a little bit today about 3 things that we can do, simple things, logistical things that you can do right now, today, in order to help you deal with everything that's happening in your life, but you still have to turn around and parent. And if you're like me, I know I've had some times that I'm like, how am I supposed to guide somebody else's life and teach them and mold them and lead them into their lives when I feel like my own life, is on dumpster fire right now, or is in a dumpster fire right now, right? High five to you if you felt that way. I think as parents, we probably all feel that way at some point or maybe multiple points. But what I want to talk to you about today is 3 things that you can do. And my go-to is always easily mind, body, spirit. What can I do in those 3 areas for me in order to align myself, make sure that I'm just not a walking around dumpster fire, right? And that I can still be a parent effectively, intentionally, lovingly as best I can. And if I'm not, I'm going to make up for it and have some accountability for that, right? Self-accountability. So the trick is really to be in today. Okay. So pause for a second and just say that to yourself. Be in today. I am in today, right? You're not in yesterday. You're not in 10 years ago. You're certainly not in tomorrow or 10 years from now. You are in today, right here. One of my fun little side hobbies is studying quantum physics, which you're like, you are such a nerd, Nellie. And yes, I will claim to fame that I am a huge nerd and I love to study some of these things. And that is one of the principles, right? We are in today. We are only actually here right now. Right now. And it's so interesting to read about, but honestly, in our lives, and as we look at that on a practical level, it is so true. Also, we cannot live in our past. We certainly cannot live in our future, but we can live and we are living right now. So how can we be in the right now? So let's just take mind. Okay. So mind, meditation, you guys, is going to be such a go-to. And I don't mean that you need to get on the, flowy clothes and go sit on a mountaintop and do the ohms or anything like that. You certainly can, and there's nothing against that. That's great. But even if it is just sitting in your car, even if it's just sitting in your closet, or in that picture, if you saw this picture of the video, that is 100% me under my bed with my dog, because I was like, I just need a space real quick. That is real simple, right? Dust bunnies and all. So the dog was under there. She goes under there all the time when she's stressed. And I was like, you know what, Willow, I'm going to join you today. And she was probably like, this is my space, but that's okay. So I went under there too. And it was just interesting. I was like, girl, I get it. I get why you come under here during your stressful times. Just kind of funny. But it really just comes down to peeling away the heaviness, peeling away the layers, and getting to simplicity. That's where what it really comes down to. Take away all the burdens that you're feeling. Just breathe. Just breathe. I was recently at we do one-on-one trips with our kids before they leave home. So my husband went to New York with my oldest last year. And this summer I got to go to a retreat center with her, a meditation spa retreat center. And I did the most meditation I've ever done before in my life, but I was actually taught how to more effectively do it. And some of the things that they said really came true. It's like, okay, how long can you go without water? How long can you go without food, right? How long can you go without sunshine? How long can you go without getting on your phone, right? How long can you go without breathing? And I was like, And they're like, you know what? That's why we need to focus on our breathing so much. It really fills the oxygen centers that we need. It fills our brain, it fills our bodies, fills our tissues, fills our organs, all of these things. And we need to focus on breathing sometimes. So when everything else is going a little crazy in life, which is 100% bound to happen, just breathe. And when I am saying meditation, you can just close your eyes, be in a place that has not a lot of distractions at all, a quiet place. That's why I say my car is like my Zen room sometimes. I love my car, and it's nice and warm in there. And anyway, I can go in there, I could just close my eyes, and I can just breathe, like take some deep breaths. And there's even some breathing exercises you can certainly Google or look up or whatever you want to do. You can meditate on a verse and just focus on that. In fact, I'll give you a verse in just a few minutes, but just focusing on one thing, just one thing. Another quick story. My youngest daughter, she is notorious for not focusing on one thing. So the other day she's like, okay, so mom, can I watch my show while I eat lunch and I work out all at the same time? And I was like, no, absolutely not. Why? Because if this was somebody else, that this wasn't a struggle of theirs, sure, you want to do that sometime randomly, that's fine. But for her, this is a struggle of hers. And so having her pile up a bunch of activities onto one time slot is going to be detrimental for her. So it's like, you do one thing at a time. We're really working on that with her, right? So doing one thing at a time. And this summer, we've had so many things come up, you guys. I have had, if you're watching this video right now, you'll see I can pull this back. Yep, I got a big old wound right here on my neck. That is from a skin cancer surgery I had to have. I was diagnosed like 4 weeks ago, had to have surgery about a week ago. And it is big and it is invasive right there, right? And it's taken up some life. My husband fell on a zip line and broke both of his hands also about 3.5 weeks ago. So these things, this is what I'm talking about. Life can happen around us and then just kind of invade our space and our productivity and our minds and our bodies and our souls and our spirits. But we can do some of these things. So that first one, like I said, meditation. Just focus on one thing at a time and breathe. That focus could even be just breathing. But get away, peel away the layers. If something comes in, say nope, and just push it on back or push it away. Let it come in and go out. I always talk about the brain as like a busy airport, right? Let it come in and go out and just focus on the breathing. and give yourself the sweet spot for meditation is 20 minutes. It's not an hour, it's not 2 hours, it's not 5 hours or what have you, but the sweet spot is really about 20 minutes. So that's the first thing that I heavily recommend, just to focus on breathing and get centered and be in today. The second thing is going to be about actually supplying your body this physical suit that our spirits get to walk around in on this earth. Supply it with things that are actually going to serve you and things that you need, not necessarily the junk that you might want in those times, that what your weakness is telling you, go get that, right? So do things that you actually need. Now, I am not saying don't ever have the Dairy Queen, or don't ever have the, I don't know, 4-layer dessert or whatever that is your go-to, or the glass of wine, whatever that is. But if you are in a state that you're kind of in a dumpster fire, you're kind of spiraling, you're not feeling like you are, driving the bus of your life, or being the leader in your life arena, right? If that is your state, don't go for your weaknesses. You need to stand strong in there. And that's why being a self-disciplined leader is so important, right? For adults, and that's what we're moving our kids into as well. So be sure that you are doing things that are serving you, drinking a lot of water, trying to get a lot of rest and sleep, doing that meditation, right? And it's interesting because the world will tell you, every commercial out there for everything that doesn't serve you is going to be like, you will feel so good. It's what you want. It's what you want. It's what you want. They got the juicy, I don't know, hamburger, or they have the Doritos, or they have all the things right out there, all these things that actually don't serve your body. And it's saying you will feel better if you do this, or you will feel better if you have this, right? I just saw a commercial last night for this store, and it said, you will feel like you matter if you have this. And I was like, wow, that is one heck of a marketing campaign right there. You will feel like you matter if you have this. And it was this woman that was just like running around rampant, trying to feel like she mattered in front of all of her neighbors. And then she had this, so she was able to like strut around, right? No, no, no. That is not where you get your matter, where your worth and how much you matter from, right? We get it from those 5 pillars: seen, heard, love, belong, purpose, all of those that we are doing for ourselves and we're teaching our kids, because we live from the inside out, not the outside in. But so number 1, meditation. Number 2, supply your body with what it needs, not necessarily what you want right then. Okay. And then the third one is the spirit, right? Mind, body, spirit. And so the third one is spirit. And I always go to this. I got my little, life wisdom book right here, AKA the Bible, and Matthew 6:34. I cannot tell you how many times I have just meditated and just said this over and over in my head. And I just want to read it to you. Again, that's Matthew 6:34. And it is, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own, right? So we're never guaranteed that it's going to be, unicorns and butterflies down here on earth by any means. In fact, we're told it's going to be challenging. It's going to be trouble, but we need to be self-disciplined leaders and teach our kids how to be self-disciplined leaders, so we can stand up and still be in the driver's seat of our life, even though there is trouble. The trick is to keep and focus on what we need today. Okay. So wake up in the morning, do some meditation. If you find yourself spiraling a little bit, go out in the car, sit in the corner, go under a bed, do whatever you need. Do a little bit of that meditation, focus on your breathing, feed your body what it needs, and really focus in and say, okay, you know what? Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has its own set of worries, or tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has its own has trouble of its own. So just focus on what is needed today. You can prepare for things in the future, but don't worry about them. Don't waste your energy and anxieties and all of that worrying about them. You can just focus on what is needed today, because we are here today. Okay, guys, I hope you were able to get some things out of that. I just love to share little nuggets of wisdom and different stories and things that I have learned as of late in order to help you with your parenting, help you be a parent, help you be a functional, messy human with all the things that we have today. Focus on mind, body, and spirit, and then help you also turn around and we can teach this to our kids as well. So I hope you are having a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.